You're probably aware of the new short-term rental regulations in BC, and you've heard that Airbnbs and short-term rentals are all but dead for investors or people looking to buy a vacation property that they can also rent out. But what if I told you that's not exactly true? There are still opportunities to buy and operate this type of property right here in the Okanagan. And in this video, I'm going to show you 3 places where you can buy a vacation spot that you can also rent out short term when you and your family aren't out here enjoying it. I'm Tyrell Boake, a realtor in Kelowna, and on this channel, I help you navigate the real estate market and provide you with useful information so you can make informed decisions that make sense for you. If you want to stay up to date on my local market, make sure you hit the like and subscribe buttons so you don't miss out on future videos. There have been a lot of videos made and news articles written recently about what some people feel is essentially a short-term rental ban which came into effect on May 1st, 2024 in the province of British Columbia. But just to recap, here's the basics of the new legislation. Essentially, for a property to be eligible to be rented out on a short-term basis, like Airbnb for example, the suite must be in your principal residence or be a secondary suite or accessory dwelling unit, like a carriage home, on the same property as your principal residence. So if you have an investment property somewhere like a condo that's not your principal residence, it would no longer qualify to be rented out on a short-term basis. You must also have a valid business license and display that number on your short-term rental listing on sites like VRBO or Airbnb. The province defines a short-term rental as any rental that is not rented out for at least 90 consecutive days. Taking it one step further, the city of Kelowna even removed the ability to rent out a suite in your primary residence. Existing business licenses for existing Airbnbs would still be honored, but no longer would they be issuing any more licenses for this type of short-term rental. On the surface, it sounds like it's going to be all but impossible if you have a secondary property to rent that out on a short-term basis, even if you live there once in a while. But there are some exemptions to the new legislation, and that's what we're going to focus on today. The biggest of which are exemptions for hotels and motels, and the exemption for Indigenous reserve lands. Starting with the exemption for hotels and motels, there are properties in the Okanagan that are actually zoned as tourist commercial or hotel commercial, and they also fall outside the city limits of the city of Kelowna, so they wouldn't be restricted by the city of Kelowna rules either. One property in particular is La Casa Resort on the west side of Okanagan Lake. La Casa is only about a 30-minute drive from West Kelowna and a 40-minute drive from downtown Kelowna. The gated community has lake and beach access and tons of amenities like a heated swimming pool and hot tub, a mini golf course, barbecue pits, tennis courts, and even its own convenience store. Home prices currently range from the mid-300s to just under $1 million. And these cottages rent for around $500 to $1,000 per night depending on the season and typically sleep at least 4 people. Despite their commercial zoning, it is possible to get a mortgage on these properties, though a larger down payment might be required. That's a good question to ask your mortgage broker or your lender if you're exploring the possibility of buying one of these properties. Make sure you know what the minimum down payment requirements are before you start your home search. The second exemption for Indigenous reserve lands is an interesting one because there are many properties throughout the Okanagan that qualify for this exemption. For example, Copper Sky in West Kelowna is a unique community with pools, hot tubs, and an unrivaled amenity center which is close to shopping, many wineries, golf courses, and is a short drive to the beach. Condos in this development are currently selling for around $400,000 to $600,000 for 2-bedroom units, and a recent listing on Airbnb shows units renting for over $300 per night plus fees. Another opportunity to own and operate a short-term rental or Airbnb on Indigenous reserve lands is Holiday Park Resort, which is located on the shores of Duck Lake and only a 10-minute drive from Kelowna International Airport, and 25 minutes from downtown Kelowna. Holiday Park Resort features its own par 3 golf course, numerous pools and hot tubs, tennis and pickleball courts, and a real resort-like community feel. Available properties range from smaller RV sites to park model sites to 2-story condo buildings with upper and lower 2-bedroom condo units. With a wide variety of properties to choose from, prices range from around $100,000 up to the low 700s. A current listing on Airbnb shows a 1-bedroom unit renting for under $200 per night. Financing on leased Indigenous lands can be a little trickier than a traditional mortgage, but if you have the cash laying around, or you can get together with some other investors or some friends and family and put the money together, this is a great alternative and a great opportunity to buy that vacation spot in the Okanagan. On the other hand, if you don't have the cash laying around, there is the possibility of refinancing your existing home, pulling out some of the equity, and using that money to buy one of these properties. So are short-term rentals and Airbnbs dead in Kelowna and the Okanagan? Absolutely not. You just have to know where to look. These are just 3 examples of properties that you can buy today in the Okanagan that still qualify to be rented out short-term or on a site like Airbnb or VRBO. If you'd like to book a call with me to discuss buying an investment property with the potential of renting it out short term, or just to talk real estate, hit the first link in the description where you can book a call with me at a time that works best for you. Or if you have comments or questions about Airbnbs in general, leave them in the comments down below. Thanks for watching.